Okay, we're back live, so let's see whether that is any better. I've just switched to a different Twitch server, and Ben, that's very noble of you to try and start a campaign to get Adam new internet. You can donate all you want, but this is as good as it gets around here. So, unless you want to like build a 5G mast at my house or something, then you ain't gonna get better than what I've got right now. Leased line. Yeah, that sounds expensive. Sounds very expensive. Or some kind of fibre line. Or very expensive. Well,
Can I take a minute? I have a question for Ben.
Mm.
Ben, how did you feel that the endurance race yesterday went for your team, you and Dave? And how did the setup feel that I sent over? If he's here. Well, I'll have to ask that question again later.
Yeah. Don't know where he is, but there we go.
Do we have a feature driver today?
Well, it's funny you should mention that, because I've just been pinged a message to say that yes, we do.
I saw someone in here.
He has joined us in the comms pod, Mr. Daniel Hyde.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, let me turn you up. You're a little.
Is that better?
Yes,
Yep.
and I've turned you up a little bit this end as well, so should be all good. How did qualifying go for you, sir?
Well, let's not say anything about that. I'm starting from the pit lane. I wasn't allowed to qualify, so I've been a naughty boy.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, of course, yes. I see. I forgot that we missed a week last week. So there is your beautiful Lamborghini sat in the pit lane. But what are you expecting out of tonight?
Well, looking based on the qualifying pace, I'm aiming for P3, which is quite high, but I'm hoping I can get there.
And just so everyone knows, you're referring to P3 in class, I assume,
Yes.
not P3 overall.
Oh, that would be the dream, but yeah, P3 in class.
And obviously you're in the GT3
you're
AM
thinking
class.
of getting 12. Oh,
Yeah, somewhere around 12.
okay. Have you had much running with the Lamborghini here on Zolder?
I've done a fair amount of practice for this.
Okay.
In practice, I was up near Ralph in qualifying pace, so
Okay.
it feels quite good.
Okay, sounds good. How do you feel about the new, like how the tire changes have been since they've updated the Lambo to be more like the Audi now? Have you felt a big difference in how the car handles and so on?
Yeah, it's got a lot less snap oversteer mid corner, which makes it a lot easier to drive.
Oh, sounds great.
Right, we'll let you go and get yourself ready, because the guys are coming down to the final corner now. So good luck, Dan, and we'll drop in through the race to say hello and see how you're getting on. But right now, all eyes on the front, because Mansi leads them round. And any moment now, we will go green flag. So we're going to keep an eye on the front. I'm sure the other guys will be keeping an eye a little bit further back. And we'll shout up if there's anything else going on. But here we go.
Green light, go.
Green light, and we've got drive-throughs for Roughton and Samoas. They must have been out of position on start. But great start for Mansi. Solid start for the whole top three, actually. So Dixon slotting in there. Shane Watts trying to hold on around the inside, but McCone gets around the outside. Good solid move from Will McCone there. Ralph Vest hanging on in 6th as well, parking ahead of Zalecki. And then you've got Josh McKean has actually got himself up a couple of spots. doing a great job up there in the Porsche Cup car, but it's getting very close through the chicane, parking a little bit slower than Dave Zalecki wanted to go, I think. So let's flick back to the front. Mansi continues to lead out front from Lancaster with Dixon behind him. Ignore the fact that it says Wilmot's in the lead. That is not correct. As much as we love you, Matt, that is not what's happening. In fact, Matt is right down the back of the field, unfortunately.
So Matt actually started from the pit lane. Not entirely sure why. But
I don't think he was here for qualifying.
He was, yeah. He was right up with leg.
Yeah.
I didn't see him.
Only one incident, I think. Johnny and Tim got together and they've fallen to the back. But yeah, everyone else nice and clean.
There is Johnny in the very pink oNiD car behind another very pink car for Tim Brown. But flicking back to the front, Mansi continues to lead. And that's a fairly convincing lead this early on in the race. That 46 Aston looking good. Lancaster and Dixon a little closer together, though, than they are to the leader. Interestingly, Will McCone going with the leaders as well. So Will has got some pace in the Audi tonight. Here we see
looks like Dixon is right on the bumper and Lancaster going into the second chicane, and looks like Lancaster gets a little bit better entry and exit there. But because of the toe, I think Dixon might actually have a shot at the end of this straight. No, he goes a bit wide and is probably going to lose about 5 kph on the straight, so he's not going to have a go here.
Will McCone keeping a watching brief there, waiting, seeing if anything happens between these two in front of him that he can capitalise on. Shane Watts going well behind them as well, and so's Ralph Vest as well. So those Hondas are amazing around Zolder. I don't know what you're talking about, Fred.
No, I guess the new BOPs helped them out a bit, or the new curb physics. But yeah, but it looks like Javier Marquez is actually going to try to have a go here on Ralph Vest going into turn 1, and Vest just lets off because they're in different classes. So probably smart by Vest there, keeping first place in the AM class there.
Yeah, his battle is with Alex Parkin, who is now right behind him. So yeah, it was no doubt letting him go. But do you know what? I would have been reluctant to let him go because it's now put Parkin right on the back of him. Talking of on the back of him, Lancaster's a lot closer to Mansi this time around.
Yeah, I don't really know what happened, but perhaps something happened in the first sector. Probably maybe run a little bit wide going into turn 2, which is, or on the exit of turn 2, which is very easy to do if you have a bit too much throttle on the corner entry. But I don't think Lancaster's going to be close enough to go for a move on Mansi here. And Mansi seemed to be pulling a bit of a bigger gap here going into the final sector of the track.
Thanks, Chris Dodge, for the follow. Welcome along to oNiD. If you haven't been with us before, then plenty of this kind of action week in, week out. And normally with a much better connection than this, I promise. But this is the battle for the lead here at Zolder. We've got 55 minutes of this race left. God, that feels a lot better than saying we've got 5 hours and 55 minutes left like we did after 2 laps yesterday. Yeah, Mansi leads from Lancaster. Dixon sets the fastest lap of the race, but McCone is right with him. McCone looking quite threatening in that Audi, you'd have to say.
Yeah, the Audi is really good through the first sector and the last sector. She struggles a lot in the middle sector. That's where the Aston has the big advantage.
So,
but I'm fairly certain that I heard Ben being back now, right?
yes.
I'm here, yeah, sorry. The joys of having a wireless headset that uses batteries.
Oh, okay.
Just we've had Selecki running off the track and losing about 6 places. And we've also got Burek keeping up with Mr. Thorpe. Oh, Dan! I've just seen Dan. No, we won't talk about that. Yeah, that's the wall.
Which Dan?
our featured driver, Mr. Dan.
Ah, hide. Okay.
Sorry,
Did the
sir.
wall
Just
take a
saw it out the
hiding?
corner of my eye.
I'm afraid it is on stream right
A bit
now.
slippy.
Oh god, the lag is horrendous. I do apologise for the connection issues tonight. It's 2 nights in a row. Oh, Dan just dropped the rear end and stuck it in the wall. Yeah, shame that one. Dan, is the damage bad?
It's not too bad. I was coming around the corner and then the Aston came across in front of me, so I backed off it rather than going into the back of him, and it just went round. So there wasn't a lot I could do.
We'll leave you to it because you've got a battle with Mr. Wilmot going on right there. Even getting a little flash of the lights from Matt as they head towards the end of that lap. Let's go back to the front. It's still Mancy, Lancaster, Dixon and McCone all together at the front. Chris Dodge hyped for the 2022 GT3. You and me both, sir. I have signed up. So stand by your beds, everyone.
Oh no!
I actually went back and checked if I could sign up, but everything was filled and I was just too slow. So I guess I'm gonna be on commentary for that series instead.
Well, it's not very often in life that people can accuse you of being too slow, Fred. But on that occasion, yes. Yes, they can.
We'll save Fred a reserve spot. I think
Absolutely.
There will be a reserve list. So
I mean,
Yeah, you can sign me up there.
It's
man.
unbelievable the response that we've had to that one. It is pretty much 24 hours since we opened the sign-ups to that series, and it's already full. Even with an extended pack, it's full. And that is just utter madness. Thank you so much for your support for that one. And thank you everyone who tuned in yesterday as well. It was really good to have so many of you in the chat. Now, here is a close battle on track. Oh, Ralph Vest has tumbled down the order to 14th. What's happened to Ralph?
I do not know. His last lap was about
will
9
find
seconds
out.
slower than his best lap, and he goes onto the sand, and then Prescott might have a run on him here. But speaking of yesterday, Ben, how did the endurance race go for your team?
Sorry, we had Dave Zalecki getting well out of shape on stream. Sorry, carry on.
So Vest just caught a curb. Unfortunately, he had spat across the track, just coming towards the last hairpin, so lost a few places, a little knock on the wall. Nothing too bad, so he should be okay. Yesterday's race was fun. I mean, apart from equipment packing in after the first stint and having to run emergency repairs and emergency repairs on the car, it was all right. I think we lost about a lap in the first 2 stints with the damage, etc., and then picked it back up to finish 6th. So I mean, yeah, really enjoyed it. Pace was good. Was pulling away from 3rd at one point. It was nice.
How did the setup feel?
Your setup was great, Fred. Thank you.
Good.
A few tweaks, increased the rake a little bit.
Yeah,
and
on the final day before the race, we actually dropped the front to the bottom because we didn't need the increased front ride height for the for Ascari. I basically made that setup super safe, but we did a few tweaks to it towards the end to make it a bit more aggressive.
Sorry to interrupt, chaps,
cars all over the place.
but just take a look at this save from Miles Dixon. That is one hell of a save. I'm gonna try and get another replay of that if I can. Do I catch it? Yes, I will catch it. So watch the stream here. You've got Dixon coming into the chicane. Gets it sideways off the second bump.
Slapper.
Oh, but manages to keep it out of the wall. And in fact, manages to stay ahead of Will McCone. So good job from Miles there.
Had a couple of other instances. I think D-Stacks unfortunately had a little moment himself and dropped to the back of the pack.
Yes, we did catch that one on stream as well. Sorry, Derek.
sorry.
Look how close McCone is
Don't wanna
to
watch.
Dixon now, by the way. McCone
And Mansi
getting a
has
sniff.
lapped Brown. The GT4 car of Brown has been lapped by Mansi now. So now the
Nice.
leaders are starting to run into back markers. So this is where Zolder becomes very interesting because pace difference, especially in the first sector, is huge between the GT3 and GT4 cars. So it might be scary going into turn 1 for some of the GT3 cars.
Yeah, this is one of the things I was looking forward to this race, but at the same time, because I was going to be in the GT4 class, I was prepared. I was prepared for death at every turn.
Oh,
because
look at
the
Dixon
explosive
again!
speeds of some of these corners are mad.
So
Dixon being very aggressive over those curbs
Oh
there.
yeah.
yeah,
So,
I think
if
they
GT4s get through in one piece, then they've done a really good job here because it's going to be difficult for them to stay out of the way. So
talking of not getting through in one piece, I fear that we may have lost El Prez. He's back in the pits, yeah, I think that may be his race run. So Mansi continues to lead, but that gap is not huge and it's not growing. It stays at around the 1.4 mark. So Lancaster keeping him very, very honest through this one. Dixon having a few wild moments, but McCone still behind him as these guys come across the line. Watts having a really solid race up there in 5th. And not that far behind the Dixon-McCone battle. And you got Marquez in 6th, who is a little bit further back from that.
Can I chime in with the thing that I've noticed here? Look, we're going through the field and basically looking at throttle and the braking inputs. And when I come to parking, he never really gets fully on throttle. He's basically running on 97% power at the moment, because when he's full throttle, he's not all the way down. So it looks like he might have some equipment issues on the throttle.
I think he runs a Logitech, so that probably explains that. Equipment issues, faux sure.
My
this stream not
condolences.
sponsored by Logitech.
Although if Logitech want to give me a new and updated wheel to try and fall in love with, then I'll give it a go.
Yeah. So Parkin, if you can hear me, you should probably try to recalibrate your paddles, because you're losing some power on the exits and on the straights. I'm gonna send a message to him after the race anyway, just to make sure, so he knows about the issue.
And if that doesn't work, I assume he can set like a upper dead zone on the pedal as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a good. I felt that I needed to mention it at least, because that could be very bad if it's in a drag race for an important position later down the race.
He's doing well, given
Oh,
work
yeah.
around it. I mean, and as well, he's obviously with Vest making that slight mistake on the curb. I mean, he's got a nice old lead in that class as well right now.
Yeah. Well, as I mentioned pre-race, the Ferrari is a very strong car around here, even though it's maybe not the best over the curbs, but it's still the best of the mid-engine cars, worth mentioning. And the BOP is just great. You have a lot more acceleration than, for an example, the Audi or the Honda on this track. So, yeah, he's doing a great job.
Eckett right up behind Josh McKean. I mean, this one isn't a battle for position within class, but McKean does not look keen to let him through. How was that? Was that good? Oh, that was Shahabi dropping it in the background. Yeah, thanks, Ben. That was Shahabi dropping it, and he is round. So if you didn't see that, here comes the replay. But we just catch the end of it. So it's just off that second curb in the chicane.
Looks like it's without damage though, so he should be good to go. Just some flat spotted tires probably.
Tyres like 50 pence pieces, no doubt. Mansi continues to lead then.
Ralph Vest getting a bit caught up with Brown, and having Prescott really close to him here, so it's...
Oh, Tim's lost it on the curb.
And collected.
Yeah, he's lost it on the curb and he
Prescott.
collected him. Yeah. I'd like to say if he's collected Prescott, they work together.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. We're about to see it
Excellent.
right here. So this is a replay. This isn't live. This is what the guys were talking about. So you can see Prescott right behind him. And this is Tim Brown just being lapped by these GT3 guys. And oh, that's unfortunate. It kind of helped Tim, though. It stopped him from spinning all the way round.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Oops.
So Greg's in, unfortunately. I think he'll have got a fair amount of damage there on the right front from the wall.
Johnny Ashley has gone up in the first chicane as well. Sorry for catching that, Johnny.
Oh no, we love catching Johnny making mistakes. So we're going to watch a replay of it.
Prime clip material comes from.
Oh, he got on the grass. Oh, he got so close to taking. Was that McCone? It's either McCone or Zalecki. He got very close to taking out there. So he tried to get out of the way.
Wow.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah,
Really
that
got
was
someone
very
else.
close. That is very much a Code Brown moment.
Yeah, it was Zalecki as well. Wow,
Just right there.
that could have made for an interesting founder and managers and directors chat room. Had Johnny dropped it and taken Dave out, but thankfully all issues avoided there. Well, apart from for Johnny. Jeez, that was close.
It was very close.
So, well, Thorpe's extended his lead then in GT4 3.8 seconds at the minute, and Willie still in third, and so spread out a bit there. And well, McKean's really dominating the Porsche Cup class as well. If we're going to cover the other classes, he's got a sizable lead. There's some 13 seconds, I think, behind him now to Shahabi. So really good from him.
Looked at McKean going through the first chicane, and he is taking that curb in third, whilst the GT3s are doing it in either first or second. So just so the rear doesn't step out on him on the exit of the chicane, he's just keeping it in a high gear. But it seems to be working because he's managing to keep a GT3 car behind him and really keeping up to parking in front of him as well.
Well, because obviously in the Cup cars you wouldn't. Because I drove them a little bit, I wouldn't touch first, apart from maybe on a downshift on an entry, and even second's quite short in those things. So obviously just limiting the wheel spin when he's trying to bounce over those curbs. I think because he's used quite a lot of
and he's in the wall, and that's a big hit. But he's not on the racing line going into turn 3. He's reversing out to the grass again. But that was a big hit.
Who for? Sorry, I missed who for.
Derek Stack.
He stacked it. Let's see if we can pick up a replay of that. Now, just whilst he's doing that, have you noticed that Will McCone has dropped back to 5th? And Shane Watts, he's up to 4th. So a position change in the top 5. And yeah, D-Stack, that's not great.
And Miles Dixon is deep in the grass there as well, but he managed to collect it. I don't think he ever ran into any walls or anything, so it wasn't a big moment.
Mr. Stack was saying in chat earlier that he wasn't exactly enjoying this car tonight, so that is playing out in evidence in front of us, I'm afraid.
So Southall's in the wall. Just too much curb at the chicane, under pressure from Hearn. I think it was only a minor knock onto the wall. I think it's more time lost than anything else, but it's another moment.
We're just
showing how difficult it is for the Cup cars. I mean, obviously it's so challenging for them with lack of TC and really having to commit over the corners a little bit too far on the curb, and it's game over for them.
It looks like Southall has quite extensive front end damage now when I'm zooming in on it, so I think that he's going to have a hefty repair on him if it chooses to do that in the pit stop. Ralph Estes into the pits, and so is Johnny Ashley.
Yeah, I think anyone now who's got a little bit of damage and feels like they need to fix it might be in. So I'm not sure if did he hit the wall when he went off, or was it just a spin? I can't remember. But he might be in just a bit of fix.
So
Got a leg in as well.
Marquez was getting a lot closer to McCone, sorry, but McCone has just gapped him again ever since. McKean and Eckett still super close together. But yeah, the guys mentioning pit stops.
3/10 off Mancy.
Let's jump
Lancaster's
to the
right on
front.
his bumper.
He is indeed.
Now
This
they're
is
gonna
the
be
battle
held up
for the
by,
lead.
Hyde going into the hairpin.
This is the battle for the lead right on screen right now as Hyde dives for the pits. We'll cover off exactly what happens with the pits shortly, but Lancaster now within 2/10 of Mancy. So now he's got a sniff. Will he send one at some point around this lap? Very similar pace, these two guys. But Mancy just getting held up. Yellow flag ahead, which is car 24, and it's Roughton. Oh, and they came oh so close to collecting him there.
I think Sam's managed to get it out of the way of everyone else as well, so thankfully he wasn't trying to reverse across the track there. That would have not been the time for that.
Yeah, Sam did the right thing in obviously just holding his brakes. There was nothing else he really could have done at that moment in time. The guys missed him. And I don't know whether that might have just taken away Lancaster's shot at getting him. You guys have mentioned a few people into the pits as Lancaster runs wide. There is a mandatory one pit stop in this race, so Dixon has gone in. He's the first of our front runners to have gone in. Car 610 around again. That's D-Stack really having a rough night. Same corner again. But there is one mandatory stop for 1 litre of fuel. They don't have to do anything else apart from that. And you'll notice that their little box goes green on the timing tower on the left hand side to tell you when they have taken their mandatory stop. So back to the guys at the front. And that gap has just opened out again to 7/10. But Lancaster's lap was particularly slow compared to Mancy last time around. Mancy does drop a wheel into the gravel though on the exit of that right-hander as Marquez heads to the pits.
We have a stop go 30 for speeding in the pit lane from Simoes, car number 20, a Porsche GT3 car, who is in the wall as well.
Oh, a bad lap for Gabby Simoes then. Yeah, there he is. So he's had a moment at the chicane. And he has an SG30 to serve. And he's got guys coming up to lap him right now. So that is Watts coming up behind you, Mr. Simoes. Hopefully you'll realise that is one of the leaders behind you. And he does indeed. And Will McCone gets through as well. Good driving from car 20. Everyone continues on nicely. Mancy and Lancaster a lot closer together this time around. Let's see their lap times across the line. Yeah, so Lancaster was down into the 29s again last time around. 29.8, whereas Mancy was in a 130.1. And they're coming up against Marquez now. They've just got round Roughton, who they got round on the previous lap as well. Oh, not quite finding the way past Marquez into that corner, and this is going to put Lancaster right on the back of Mancy as they head up towards the chicane. He's moving to the inside then, but thinks better of it. Tucks back in.
Yep. That was a scary moment there. I think Marquez should have been a bit better at getting out of the way before the corner if he was gonna let people by there. Otherwise, he needs to just be full throttle on the exit. Otherwise, you just compromise the leading car too much. McCone in the pits, by the way, he almost ran into the rear of, I think it was Watts who was ahead of him on the pit entry, because the pit entry on this track is really scary because it's a heavy braking zone, but the pit lane is way in the back behind the braking zone.
Oh, parking's off. The parking's off as well. He's had a spin himself, I think. So he should be able to rejoin, but that's going to bring Vest really close.
Oh, he's very damaged.
He's got damage.
Very,
yeah, he's obviously hit
very
something.
damaged. Yeah. Oh no,
Yeah.
he's on the racing line now.
Like, that's going to be a return to garage if I've ever seen one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Oh, I was
That's
running
the
such a
only
good
thing
race.
to do.
No, Will McCone has a stop go 30 for speeding in the pit lane.
Oh, well.
That I think it's the new, like how strict they are with the pit entry speed that is catching people off, because you have to be on the limiter when your front crosses the pit line, whatever it's
Yeah.
called. That is a new thing that you should. For those who doesn't know this, but previously you were able to basically send the car through over the line, and as long as you were below 70 kilometers per hour, with your rear tires, when you crossed the pit lane line, you were good. But now you have to be on the limiter doing 50 when your front crosses the line, and I think that has caught 2 people out thus far.
So interestingly, here's something I didn't know, and now I've learned, is that if you have lag when something's live, when you then press the replay button, it still has the lag in the replay. As Derek's stat goes off again. So apologies, you were watching. I was trying to show you Alex Parkin's moment, and all you had was his car bouncing around all over the place. As Mansi almost collects Samoas. Mansi almost collects Samoas on his way in, but that is Mansi in, and McCone's coming in for his SG30.
Yeah, that is really unfortunate for McCone there. He's running a good racing that Audi.
That is an absolute killer in SG30 as well. It's super harsh.
Never mind. I had some freeze lag myself there.
It must be catching. Now, we have ourselves a new race leader, and it's Shane Watts in the absolutely terrible round Zolder, according to Fred Honda.
Oh, it should be absolutely terrible around here.
In which case,
he's doing an amazing job.
Exactly. In which case, Shane Watts is doing an incredible job, and is currently leading this one. Now, obviously, he's yet to take his stop. Whereas
the thing we should mention that Lancaster and Manson were really close to each other whenever Lancaster went into the pits. So it's going to be interesting to see if Lancaster's been able to gain that time during.
Super close is what it is.
So here comes Mansi.
Just coming out the pits now.
Yeah, we've got Mansi there. Now, what's interesting is, did Mansi have a slow stop? Oh, look how close it is! There's Lancaster. There's Lancaster. He'll try and get the switcheroo into the next couple of corners, but Mansi has held the place. Lancaster sends one up the inside.
Yeah, he should have the heated tires as well. This is going to be so close going into the first chicane. They're going to have the who's there in the back in the Audi?
That's Will McCone. If I was Will, I would be getting out of that one.
Yep.
But yeah, I think
Mansi managed to keep the position. That was really close. I think that was Lancaster's chance there, because the overtaking is so hard there. Following through the second chicane and going into the sweeping right-handers there, it's super hard to be close to the car out.
But look at what they've got in front of them. Prescott in front of them, and then a couple of GT4s, I think, in front of that. Yeah, there's Thorpe, and there was somebody else as well. So, it might be Southall. Yeah, it's Southall. So,
yeah, but there's another GT4 ahead of them there with Brown.
An absolute gaggle of cars in front of them. Look how close Lancaster is now to Mansi. I can hardly see the lead two as they both move to the inside, and Martin Thorpe into the final corner. Lancaster as close to Mansi as he has been at any point during this race, but just not quite able to put the move in yet, as Beaucamp is the latest to get himself an SG30. Lancaster taking a look into turn one, but just not quite close enough. Didn't quite have the overspeed.
In the first sector, the best corner to overtake people is into turn 2/3.
They're going around. Sorry, Fred. They're going around Beaucamp now, who's just coming out of the pits. Always a tricky pit exit here. So actually, I think it's cost Lancaster more than it has Mansi. Sorry, Fred. Yep. Carry on.
No, the only real positions you can actually overtake into sector 1 looks like Lancaster has a good run, but it's not going to be enough. Is if you take a wider line into turn 2 and then basically try to send it up the inside into turn 3, which is the faster right-hander that leads up to the straights. Those are the only real two overtaking spots if you can if you can even call it that, into Sector 1.
Look at this though, because they're caught up behind Prescott, who's caught up behind Black.
Yep.
Prescott gets out of the way, so Mansi and Lancaster go through. Willie Black is next. Willie won't move off his line. He's a stickler for that. So Willie stays on his line, lets these guys go through, gives Lancaster a little bit of space, but makes him work for it. And Lancaster has lost a little bit of time to Mansi there. McCone following them through as well. So they've still got to get past Southall. But they have now cleared the majority of those cars, and some of them have taken to the pits as well. You can see Shahabi, I think that was, just going in from 5th. Dave Zalecki's in as well. So we actually have a Porsche in the lead, which is Josh McKean. So
Yeah.
McKean leads. Mansi now up behind Southall. Lancaster has dropped a distance behind. Southall gets a little sideways, but will now, I see him just blend out the throttle and let Mansi go. He does. Lancaster not close enough to follow through though.
Yeah, that Porsche Cup car should probably try to give the position to Lancaster here, because it is the fight for the lead.
It is the fight for the lead, but just in case you're not aware of how oNiD run the blue flag rules, oNiD's rules are that it is up to the driver behind to make the move. They're not instructed to just jump out of the way of a leader. It's not like Formula 1.
I was just thinking more courtesy, because the leaders are fighting for position and we're so close to each other, that just to not basically hold up that battle.
Oh, this is the talk of a GT3 driver. Oh.
Isn't it just? Isn't it just?
That's
Whoa! Hang on! He has got himself an upgrade from Drive-Thru Dave today. He is now SG30 Dave.
2 days in a row, Dave.
Oh dear! No, yesterday was your fault, wasn't it?
Shut up. You little me like this.
Oh dear! It's not difficult.
Oh no, I was super close to getting a stop go 30 yesterday.
McKean in the pit sent, so Mansi is now back in the lead. Lancaster second. That gap has opened up a little bit now after all of that, as Mansi gets some air off the second curb through a chicane. Now, whenever I touch the second curb in that chicane, I die. But Mansi did not.
You mean in the first chicane?
The
second curb?
Yeah, the second curb in the first chicane, yes, yeah.
Yeah, that is the one that gets you. You're 100% correct.
Yeah, but Mansi seemed to use it as a ramp rather than killing him, and just got plenty of air. They get past Burek now, and Lancaster will follow through as well. So let's just see whether there's any other big battles going on. I think Mr. Thorpe is pretty close to Mr. Pike. Oh no, he's dropped back from that. Sorry, Ben, go ahead.
I was just wondering how long a pit stop was. Do we know how long a pit stop delay is? Because Martin's got about a minute on Burek. I'm just wondering what will happen when Martin pits.
The pit, I think the pit stop is about 60-something% of the lap. Give me a second and I'll actually confirm that.
Martin's in, so yeah, we'll find out in a second.
Bocamp's in for his SG30. Dave's already cleared his. Ben, I'm feeling that a name change on Discord is coming up for Dave, surely.
I think he might be right.
One pit stop on Zolder with a tire change equals 77% of the lap.
Okay.
It's a long
So
pit exit though, isn't it?
Okay.
Yeah.
That might be a bit close then.
Long pits, pit exit, long pit entry as well, and short lap times.
So let's just pick up.
Drive-throughs on this track is detrimental to winning chances.
I mean, not quite Spa detrimental, but yeah, detrimental, that's for sure.
Oh yeah. This is actually the track that you lose the most percentage of a lap time, or like a lap of but it's not the longest one. Time-wise, Spa is the longest with
Oh, it's getting a
95
bit messy at the
seconds.
chicane.
So let's just pick up on Mr. Thorpe as he's still sat stationary. Right, he's leaving the pits now.
I think he's got plenty in hand here. It looks like he's got plenty in hand. So
Burek coming out of the final corner now, heading towards the line. And Thorpe,
Yeah.
Thorpe.
Contact! I think that's Johnny Ashley. Has been spun round at the exit of the double right-hander in sector 2.
Let's see it. So I've hit the replay button, and here he is. So coming down into the second chicane, what I like to call the forest chicane. Sam Roughton behind him. He's now going around Brown. He's got McKean up the inside of him. So he's... oh, yes. Yeah, he gets turned around by McKean there. Not sure whether Johnny realised that Josh was that far up the inside of him. 2 into 1 didn't go there, unfortunately. And, yeah, Johnny having a difficult
right
night.
On the back of Mansi again.
Yeah, Jack's right on the bumper of Mansi once again. With 23 minutes left, this battle is not over.
You've got a bit of clear space in front of them as well, so with the amount of traffic that they're obviously having to deal with, there will be a kind of ebb and flow as one gets through the traffic easier than the other. But they've got a bit of open road in front, so it should be interesting.
So only Prescott left to take his mandatory stop. Obviously, he has been in once already, hasn't he? But that was outside of the pit window, if I remember correctly. Didn't he have damage early on?
Yes, that's right. Yeah. I think he pitted after. It was probably about 10 minutes, wasn't it, or so?
Yeah.
So,
and
but he's in now.
He's in now. So yeah, with 2.5 minutes left to the pit window, nobody wants to do a Dan Hyde, do they? Dan Hyde, how are you getting on, sir?
Recovering better than I thought I would after that big smash.
You are currently 4th in class.
Impressive.
So, and you're about 4 seconds behind the next car in class, so you definitely has a chance to get the top 3 you were talking about. Never mind, Prescott's in the pit, so you might actually already be in the top 3.
Not quite. I'm about to come over the start-finish line. Yeah, when I put it in the wall, I thought that prediction of 3rd in class had gone out the window.
Well,
I mean, I'm going to have to
you've definitely cleared.
hold it. Old tired.
You've definitely cleared Greg, so you are now 3rd in class, and that will put you up to 16th overall. So, yeah, really good recovery here.
Yeah, I'm not sure the tyres are going to last for the rest of the race, but we'll see. We'll keep pushing.
Good stuff. We'll check back in with you a little bit later on. Let's go back to the front and see how we're getting on there. Just 5 or 6 tenths between the front two as they cross the line. Check on the last lap times. Mansi did a 29.4. Lancaster did a 29.5. Yeah, 49 would have been bad. It's almost like I did too much talking yesterday or something.
Yeah, you're still dialed in on the Monza lap times.
Times, yeah.
49. What sounds like? Did anyone get into the 47s? I know we were like a few hundreds off.
No,
I think.
But we didn't get
no.
past this lap.
48.0 was the fastest lap,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There was quite a few 48.0s out there, but nobody quite dipped into the 47s. But these two have knocked on the door of the 28s in this race as Lancaster gets a super exit. Car 94's had a moment, by the way. That is Miles Dixon. So Miles Dixon in
out.
3rd is out.
He's gone. He left. What happened?
I don't know, as I'll wait for the ACC cameras to pick back up on the action, because Lancaster closer and closer to Mansi now.
The pit window is closing now.
And there goes that lag again.
Yeah, it looks like.
Yeah, Miles Dixon is out. So that puts a Honda on the podium.
Oh yeah, I like it because I drive the Honda, but it's very surprising nonetheless.
Lancaster taking a
Maybe we
look
should,
at
maybe we
Mansi.
should, go in the Honda. in the World Series next year. Let's use the Honda, Fred.
Yeah, I'm down to use the Honda.
Maybe the Honda
that's a car I used
is.
in SRO, so I'm more than happy to use it.
Maybe the Honda is all of a sudden OP.
God,
No one really knows
don't
yet.
get me started.
No one really knows yet, but from the BOP changes that has been done, it looks like the 3 cars to beat at the moment are McLaren, Mercedes, and M4. McLaren being the clear favorite, from what I've heard.
Drive through for Johnny Ashley. And Johnny's right in front of the leaders right now. That's Johnny's ass we're looking at. Ugh. He gets out of the way nicely. Lancaster thinks about a move. We are riding on board with Jack Lancaster now.
Just going to catch Tim in the GT4 right at the last chicane as well.
Hopefully he's aware that they're coming here.
Tim stays nice and predictable.
Nicely done.
And yeah, Lancaster late on the brakes.
So nice.
And I would have been very mad if I were the GT3.
To be fair, I think it depends. Tim's not fighting for position anywhere in this one at the minute, so yeah, I would have done the same. Nicely done. This is one of the things, isn't it? They're so close together, they're so evenly matched, and all it's going to take is one slight moment where they catch someone in the wrong spot, and it's going to potentially give Jack the opportunity to really have a go.
Yep, it looks like riding along with Manson, it really looks like he's running a very high rake setup. So he's definitely going to have the rotation that he needs. The question is, he overcooks it a bit into the chicane, but he still managed to keep ahead. Looks like he went a bit too deep in my eyes, because he didn't hit the first part of it.
They just leapt over the second part and just carried the speed, didn't they, sir? So maybe that's the opportune line now with the... That was very quick. I don't know. There.
Just launch it. Just absolutely launch it.
Yeah.
Aston Space Program.
Or the Essex Space Program.
Flip there.
Really?
Yeah. With a Ferrari, I didn't brake, of course. I just went fully over it and I did a front flip and landed on my roof.
I didn't think that was possible. I didn't think that was possible in ACC to go over, but there you go. But yeah, Ben is absolutely right. Lancaster was almost climbing up Mancy's rear diffuser then.
Well.
So
One thing that Lancaster, Mancy goes deep, but he still managed to get a good exit there. One thing that Lancaster needs to start doing if he actually wants to have a chance to get by in this area is he needs to start to open up that turn 2 to turn 3 more. He's way too tight, so he's not able to get on throttle early, and he's just dropping back in the first sector where he could be capitalizing on the mistakes that Mans is doing.
So we are riding on board with Jack Lancaster as Johnny Ashley takes to the pits to clear his drive-through. Ben, I'm going to volunteer you to be the person to talk to Johnny after this race because he hasn't had a good one. So I can't imagine him being Mr. Happy.
No, but at this stage of the race, these things happen. He's still getting points on the board. Obviously, we've got the drop scores as well. I'm sure he might be a bit miffed off, as we all would be if we've had a disappointing race. But it's a season across 10 rounds, isn't it? So.
Lancaster runs deep.
And plus next week, double points.
It is double points next week, you're right. Lancaster just ran deep into the final corner and he's lost a bundle of time in that moment. I'm trying to switch to an off-board camera. There we go. Somebody sprayed a Pirelli board onto the track at some point as well. Thank you for that. So the battle is heating up in AM class for second in class because you've got Roughton is he's 3 seconds ahead of Leg now, And then Dan Hyde is within 5 seconds of leg as he tries to get himself past Gabby Samoas, who is a lap down. But poor old Ralph Vest. I say poor old Ralph Vest, but of course he's actually leading the class now. Well, as I say that, he goes off, but well held, Mr. Vest. I only say poor Mr. Vest because he was even further up after qualifying. What a stunning qualifying, but really solid race after his early mistake to be leading that class after the demise of Mr. Parkin. But Sam... Oh, why is Vest going in?
Oh, why Vest's gone in? Yeah. Is he not got enough fuel? Did he? I don't know.
Oh my word! So
Never mind.
he must
be fuel related.
It must be fuel related.
It's either that or, well, he had his last lap was 6 seconds slower. So I don't know if he's had an incident somewhere and damaged the car and he's decided to pit and fix it. But I'm not sure he was losing enough time to make that worth it. I don't know. Maybe it's just fuel.
It must have been
We'll
fuel
know pretty
related.
soon 'cause he's only going to be there for a few seconds. Yeah, that looks fuel related.
So the question is, does that now put Sam Roughton up into the lead? No, I think Ralph is far enough ahead.
Yeah, he had the lead there, didn't he? Because Sam's coming up to the last chicane, so and Vest's rejoining, so it looks like he's got enough time to do that. So, two-stop strategy. What is this, F1?
Two-stop Ralph continues to lead class. What it does mean is that Dave Zalecki moves himself back into the top 10 overall. But that's not a super hot night for Dave or Will McCone in the end, is it?
Southall has a lot of damage. His car is not turning. I'm riding on his POV and it's just not turning at all.
Yeah, we're looking at the front end of Southall's car now, and yeah, I've seen better looking Porsches, that's for sure.
Oh, the steering is also not straight. Yeah, he is having issues.
Oh, and he's got Mr. Fish, Andrew Pike in behind as well, catching up as well. So I think there'll be a position change shortly.
Here comes Mr. Fish now, right behind Southall. And, well, put it this way, Martin Thorpe has just got past Southall, so, yeah, that's in a different class, and yeah, Luke's off track now. Mr. Fish, aka Flappy Wet One, gets himself up into 12th, and that is third in class.
Yeah, third in class, so podium for him now. That's great work.
Yeah, so Josh McKean continues to lead the Porsche Cup class. In fact, let's just take a quick check on the leaders in each class. So your leader in GT3 Pro continues to be Jimmy Mancy. He's still got Jack Lancaster not a million miles behind him. Your leader in AM GT3 continues to be Ralph Vest, despite his two-stop strategy and early shenanigans. Your leader in Porsches is Josh McKean. There he is, who's had a stunning night. Oh my word! Oh. We almost saw his demise live on air, but yeah, Southall dropped it. McKean did manage to just collect him, but got away with it. Oh, he is carrying some damage now. Hopefully nothing too bad. But yeah, McKean has got, I don't know, probably about 12-13 seconds over Shahabi, so hopefully we'll be okay. And your leader in GT4's shock horror is Martin Thorpe. No shock horror.
Well, I'm shocked.
Are you?
No.
No.
He's just been dominant, like looking at his times, just so consistent again, dealing with the traffic well as well. That's the key, isn't it? Just staying nice and consistent, quick, not getting caught up in incidents. Big shout out to Burek as well. Though Burek 11 seconds behind, but doing a really good job today.
Leaders are coming up to a bunch of back markers here. A cup car, a
GT4 as well in Burek.
Yeah, and a M-class driver. It's going to be interesting to see everyone
it's a one-line corner there.
Something.
Here we
Lancaster's going to get the run because they've just got caught.
Lancaster has got a run.
One line.
He goes to the outside. He tries to brake later, but it's difficult to get around the outside. The old switcheroo, no, it's not on. So he now tries to get closer as they head in towards the final chicane. Mansi stays to the inside. Lancaster makes a last a last gasp move out to the inside, but Mansi had it covered. But they've still got Alex Shahabi right in front of them, and then Alex Parkin just in front of that. So they've got the two Alexes to clear. 9 minutes left of this one then. Jimbo Mansi continues to lead overall. Jack Lancaster there in the burgundy coloured Aston right behind him though. These two have been going at it for best part of an hour now, and it shows no sign of abating, because even when they clear Mr. Parkin, they'll then quickly be up with our featured driver Dan Hyde, who is currently 4th in class. I thought he'd got himself up into 3rd.
Yeah, Leg has come out of nowhere. I don't think he was there before. But something happened, Daniel, during the race, besides that incident you had earlier.
Yeah, I had a small incident at turn 1 trying to lap a GT4.
Okay.
Got a bit of understeer when going up the inside and managed to get past. So I lost 4th position at the 3rd even.
I had a bit of understeer going up the inside and managed to get
Jack and
past.
Nancy, side by side down the straight.
They are, yeah. Lancaster moves to the inside, and I think he's got the run.
He's got a bit of wheel spin out the last corner.
He has got the run.
Squeeze him on against the wall. Lovely move.
Lancaster
Can he get
takes the
stopped?
lead.
Oh,
Mansi tries to get the old switcheroo going, but now doing, as they would say up north. But Lancaster now leads this one.
so this will be interesting then to see how Lancaster deals with hitting the traffic first, because he's had 50 minutes of being
and Mansi.
That was the worst. Such a bad time to hit a GT4 there.
So will Mansi go to the outside? Yes, he does, and he retakes the lead. Great move from Mansi around the outside.
I'm from commentary. My timing was. It's not going to get better than that, folks. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, nothing that Martin Thorpe could have done about that one.
Lancaster had a lag or something, because I don't really know what happened, or a freeze lag, because he just dropped back massively in the second chicane. Because I was on his POV and it looked like his car tried to warp time and it didn't work, so it just stopped for a second in the middle of the chicane. So now he's dropped back massively to Mansi.
But look at that pack of cars up ahead. That is almost every car out there, all on one straight, the pit straight. And they are going to come across those guys. Johnny Ashley back in the pit, so I don't know whether he's parked it for the night. But yeah, Johnny is back into the pits. So Mansi will be the first one to... as Brown goes to the inside because Hyde goes to the outside. Mansi will now try and fit between the two of them.
Bad spot.
Oh, and does well. Does well to squeeze through. And Lancaster
gets put on the grass by Brown. Not the sand, sorry.
Yeah, so Mansi came off best from that one in the end. Mansi has extended his lead. He got brave through the middle of Brown and Hyde and got away with it. Lancaster got hung out to dry a little bit round the outside, desperately trying to follow Mansi through. So I wondered if that pack of traffic might play a role, and they did, but by extending the gap. But they've got more to come. Mr. Fish next on their radar. Lancaster coming up behind Dan Hyde as they come into the final couple of corners. 5 minutes to go. I'll tell you what I'm going to do right at this moment in time. I'm going to ask you guys for your driver of the day. Fred, who's your driver of the day so far?
So far, it's between Mansi and Watts, because I did not expect on Honda to be on the podium, if I'm completely honest. But the defense by Mansi, the thing is, both Mansi and Lancaster has been really good, and I don't really know to pick in between them. So I think I'm just gonna say that whoever wins this race is gonna be the driver of the day for me, personally.
What about you, Ben?
I was thinking Shane Watts with his, I think it would be his first podium of the season, if he can keep it together. Either that or Josh McKean, flawless in the Cup car. Obviously a challenge around here. We've seen it with other people. He's been absolutely flawless today, so it'd be between those two for me. Probably Watts would just about sneak it for me, because I really can't argue with his pace today. It's been great to see him up there.
Yeah, it's difficult to look beyond Shane Watts' performance up there in third, but my drive... Oh no, he's in the pits again! I was just about to say my driver of the day is Ralph Fest, but Ralph Fest is in the pits again! What on earth is going on? Three-stop strategy is not the way!
The three-stop is going to be a bit too much, as Sam's coming through the last corner now, so I wonder if he didn't put enough fuel in, obviously trying to do fuel math on the fly, and... because the gap had been closing as well, so I'm guessing he was saving fuel. And yep, Sam goes back past, so takes the AM lead. I think Legger as well is going to make his way past too. So
yeah,
I think Hyde as well.
Yeah, Dan, Dan's going to sneak it as well.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Podium in the AM class for Daniel. Good job.
Don't jinx it. 2 minutes 50 to go.
Yeah, he has to get through the chicane twice still.
I think we've shown anything can happen in this race at this point.
I tell you what though, and you said at the beginning, Ben, that this could be a race of attrition. You're absolutely right. But when you consider the fact that early on in the race we saw Sam Roughton pointing the wrong way on the track, having to reverse himself back into contention, almost getting collected by the leaders, turning himself around and getting going again, and now he's leading the class. Yeah, it just goes to show just how much drama there has been out there tonight.
Driver of the day to Sam. There you go.
Leg is not doing any favors whatsoever to Lancaster there to let him by into the two chicanes.
Well, to be fair, I mean, I wouldn't either. If Leg's in the fight now, he's got Dan closing up behind him. He's going to have Vest closing up, and he was catching Sam for the race win, for the class win as well. So as long as he's not intentionally blocking, although Mansi's had a poor
yeah. I was just
going
to say, what it has done is it's put Lancaster right on the back of Mansi again.
Yep, 2 laps to go.
Yeah, 2 laps. There'll be another one after this as well, so plenty of time.
So Mansi did a 32.0 on the last lap. Lancaster did a 30.7. So obviously some dramas for Jimmy.
In the first chicane. Coming out to Roughton now.
So it's how much traffic they have ahead, but they've got 1 car in front of them, and then they've got a little bit of a break with 3 more cars ahead, and then it's clear as day. So not too much traffic to get in the way here.
Yeah, Lancaster looks incredibly racer towards the end of the race.
The 333 car of Josh McKean has had a moment, I think. I did just see the yellow flag pop out for McKean. So hopefully that hasn't cost him a place. But Roughton now trying to get out of the way. Look at Lancaster trying to capitalise on that. Trying to go late on the brakes, but Mansi was equal to it. Look how close Lancaster is now as he gets a good run out towards the final corner. He tries to engineer a space up the inside. Now has to switch to the outside. Mansi stays to the inside as they go into the final corner. And yeah, no space for Lancaster.
No space for that.
Final lap.
Great defending from Jimmy Mansi there. Super fair racing from the pair of them, battling for the lead as they get past Beaucamp now, and they will catch the 666 and the 333 car, I think, on this lap. That's McKean and Hearn, who are 6th and 7th overall. There they are, just round the corner.
Yeah, they're fighting for position as well. So it does say a lot about these two. They've got that much of a lead that they've effectively lapped. Well, they've lapped 8th, haven't they? So the pace, I know they've been fighting, but the pace has been excellent.
So Dan Hyde also under pressure now from Ralph Vest, trying to get back onto the podium. 7/10 between those two at this moment in time, but we're continuing to watch the battle for the lead because this is the final lap of the race. We're in the final sector of this final lap of Mess Round 9, the penultimate round of this Multiclass European Super Series, and they are catching those two cars. Lancaster has probably one more attempt into this final corner. Will he send it?
It's going to be a big dive.
Will he send it? He's thinking about it, but no. He's discretion better part of valor there, and Mansi holds it.
Oh,
there is a nudge though,
There.
and
That's going to be it.
drag to the line. 1/10 of a second.
Fuel concerns on the line. What a race!
So Dan holds off Ralph Vest and takes himself a podium. Well done, that man. There was somebody having a big issue across the line. Oh yes, we do have a car on their roof. Was it Greg? Who was it on their roof there? No, it wasn't Greg. I think it might have been Sam Roughton going across the line on his roof.
Impressive.
I saw somebody on their roof and it was blue and red. So it's either Sam or Alex.
Yeah, it's the Ferrari of Parkin.
Let's see if we can catch that on the old replay. Yes, we're going to.
Car.
Well, thank you for proving it, Alex. We're going to catch it on the replay here on the Streamlet. This is the final corner of the lap. So here's Parkin into the final corner, coming out the final corner. How on earth, Alex, do you manage to put it on its roof? We're about to find out. So Shahabi drops it. Parkin crashes into him. Oh, that is a superb view of a Ferrari on its roof. There you go. But I think everyone will have finished now. We'll just wait for the results to come up on the screen once it empties out of the replay. And there we go. Jimmy Mansi wins by 1/10 of a second from Lancaster. Shane Watts with a brilliant third. And then Marquez fourth. Your winner for AM is Sam Roughton. So we're going to ask for... we want Mansi, Roughton, McKean and Thorpe to interview, please. There we go. So let's see if we get these guys into the commentary booth. Just jump into Discord and have a look. So hopefully you guys are going to stick around for the chats with these guys as well. Here's Jimbo. So Mr. Mansi. Wow. what an end to the race.
Oh, that was amazing. But that was just as much down to Lancaster. That was full on. He's so much faster than me. Under braking, everything. I just don't know. I'm same car, but obviously whatever he was doing, it was just a case of keeping him behind as much as possible.
And there was some superb defensive driving from you as well, especially a couple of laps from the end into the final couple of corners. Some really good stuff. It looked, from what we saw, like it was a really clean battle all race long as well.
Oh, it was brilliant. If they were all like that, it would be amazing. You know, there was a couple of tiny little bumps, but nothing to upset, and there was definitely plenty of respect between both of us as well.
Excellent stuff. Well,
maybe Lewis and Max should take note. They need to watch that back.
Yeah, we're trying to avoid any spoilers in case there's anyone who hasn't watched the race yet. But yeah,
I'm just talking about the season in general, obviously. Yeah, can't
but
believe Mazepin won. Fuck.
Mazepin for the win. Yes, absolutely. But no, great win. Congrats to you. Talking of regular winners, here he is. Mr. Thorpe is here. Martin, clean sweep so far. Can you make it 10 out of 10 next week?
Hope so, but my target will be on my back. Hopefully Ben can be back. Sort of missed him
I
this
hope
week.
Well, Ben, you know more than anyone about Martin's driving, because you followed it all season. This guy's just ridiculous, isn't he?
Too fast. Too quick. It's not just the speed though; it's the consistency. It's like I said in the middle of the race. It's there's definitely an ability when you're in a slower class to be able to keep out of trouble and still not lose too much speed, making sure that you're not getting in the way of the faster cars. I think that's probably the biggest challenge more than anything. So, no, excellent result once again.
So I think we can quite comfortably say that Martin Thorpe is our GT4 champion for this season. Ain't nobody going to catch him now. But we do actually have a fresh face to the interview board, because with the first win of the season, Mr. Sam Roughton, congratulations, sir.
Finally, mate.
Finally. And
Yeah.
how did you manage that, considering at one point you were having to reverse yourself out of trouble at turn 3 or 4?
Yeah, a few times I've done that. By staying just like away from many issues, really. You know, there were so many incidents in front of me, from like lap cars being. Like there was one with Johnny. I can't remember what happened, but it scared me a bit. But just staying away from issues, really, and that.
Was it when the cup car spun him around going out of the double right-hander?
Yeah, that was it.
Oh my
It
word,
scared the
yeah.
living daylight of me.
I think it's fair to say that everyone had a night of action, so I think you did well to keep yourself out of trouble. Apart from that, I mean, you were maybe a little
And a
fortunate.
drive-through as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think you're maybe a little fortunate that poor old Ralph had to do a 3-stop strategy. He's blaming his pit crew, but is it not the driver that's in control of the pit crew?
Always. you need to get the luck sometimes, though, don't you?
Absolutely, and in fairness, you make your own luck as well in this game. So fair play to you. Well done for the win. I don't think Josh is going to be joining us, but well done to Josh for a dominant win in Porsche Cup cars as well. So those guys that were here for the interview, feel free to run off and go and spray your champagne or do whatever you want to do. I'm going to grab a quick final word with Dan Hyde. Dan, a podium.
Yeah, that was good. It's what I predicted at the start. Fred was pretty bang on with his overall finishing position. I finished 13th. He guessed 12th. Congratulations to Sam and Leg for getting first and second. But I feel if I hadn't spun and put it in the wall, I probably could have won that, which is a bit disappointing for me.
Well, take the positives in having the podium, and especially considering you started from the pit lane. That's a pretty good recovery. So well done for that, and thank you for being our featured driver today. And of course, a reminder for everyone that as and when you need yourself a PC building or need some components, get in touch with Dan from Caden Computers, and he will get you sorted. So thank you, Dan. Feel free to go off and get yourself a refreshment or whatever you need. And I'll grab a final word from you first, Ben. What was your overall impression of tonight's race?
Excellent racing. Especially impressed at the start. It was nice and clean. I think we had a number of incidents throughout the race, but that seemed to be more just people struggling with the cars around that track rather than anything else. So good fair racing, and to see Mansi and Lancaster finish so close to each other for race-long battle was excellent. So yeah, thank you very much for having me. Really good fun.
Thank you for being here, Ben, and I look forward to listening into you on Tuesday night for the Ginettas. I forget the track for Ginettas this week, but is it Nürburgring? I think it's Nürburgring. No, that's the DTM. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll see you Tuesday night for the Ginettas and
See you then.
a bit more of my pain. Fred, final word from you. What was your thoughts on the race tonight?
Great battle for the GT3 first place position. Other than that, maybe a bit too many incidents, but that is what's going to happen when you do a free-class race on this track. So overall, a really fun race to watch and lots of action up and down the field. Really good to see a Honda on the podium on a track which is not favored for that car.
Absolutely. And look, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. To everyone watching, apologies for a few technical issues where the lag has been prevalent and even frame rate drop on the stream and things. So for anyone who stuck with it, much appreciated. And I'm going to give my PC a kick so that hopefully it's a little bit better for next time we're on stream. But I will be back next Sunday on stream for the final round of Mess. Tuesday night we've got a stream of the superb Ginetta Championship hosted by Ben, which is always a great stream to watch, so jump on that one. And with that's us done for tonight, so I will play you out with the Mess video. Thanks for watching. See you all again soon.